heard that there's a lot of people over there at the stadium. I heard it's a pretty good crowd. They're pretty excited. I wish I was over there. Really wish I was over there right now. Got some work yet possibly to do tonight, but man, this is a big thrill for all of us here in the building. We're so excited to get a guy like Jameis to be our future, start a new era. Anytime you get an opportunity to get a franchise quarterback that we believe and are very confident is a franchise quarterback, it excites you, and excitement is a word I'm trying to think. I can't even think of a word right now. I'm beyond excited, as well as the entire room up there. He's a champion. He's a leader. He's a winner. He's got tremendous football character and tremendous intelligence and work ethic. His work ethic was one thing that really put him over the top for us, combined with his leadership and just his, I hate to say it, lack of a better word, it factor, as well as his ability on the field, which has caught our eyes early on in the process, going back over a year to his first year there at Florida State playing.
You characterize the trade market, and with so many people wanting Mariota as well, and maybe there were people that wanted to come up to get Jameis. Can you characterize as much as you can how much you were tempted, or there was a way to maybe do a three-way deal and get Jameis and another pick? What was out there?
We had interest up until the last minute or last few minutes, and we were never tempted. We wanted to take him the whole time. You can never not take a phone call. It's just kind of interesting to hear what some of the offers were, but like we said before, we didn't want to close the door on it, but we wanted to take him. That was our plan, and they would have. I don't even want to put a price tag on it. He's a franchise quarterback that we are thrilled to have, so really leave it at that.
Jason, what do you say to a fan who's concerned about what they've read about Jameis, what they've heard about Jameis? How do you convince that fan to give him a chance to win him over?
Yeah, and I appreciate that question. He won us over. He won a lot of people over in this building and around the league. It's a article I saw that Derek Brooks had a comment about time. You just have to give it some time, and he was afforded some time to prove some people when he came into the league, and that's obviously Derek was held in high regard here, and that's just it. We can't fast forward time, but just have to give time and let him prove to everybody, which I'm sure he will.
Is there anything this organization plans to do with domestic violence to, kind of spearhead the move to become more of a institution that contributes toward it? Or?
Yeah, we have been here in the past. Last year, and we continue to educate our employees and all of our players on domestic violence. We feel confident in Jameis, and we feel like Jameis is if we didn't think that he was a great person, we wouldn't have drafted him.
Jason, you talked about his leadership. What specifically about his leadership really appealed to you the most?
He raises the bar of all the players around him. Guys start talking football with him, and they just want to run out on the sandlot and start, having a 7-on-7 practice. Every player that we talk to say that he's the best leader that they've ever played with, and that speaks volumes.
Jason, did you ever let Jameis know prior to tonight or prior to being on the clock that he in fact was your pick? And when you had your conversation, what was the dialogue like?
We never told him that officially you're going to be a Buck. And the minute I called him, or the second I called him, and I told him that we're going to make him a Buck, I couldn't hear much else. It was a lot of yelling and screaming and hugging, and he had his whole family there, and that's a very tight-knit group, and that was part of the process of getting to know them. He's got a great mom and dad, little brother, sister, girlfriend, his grandmother, Myrtle. You know, I've met Uncle Harry. I've met the whole family, and they are truly an outstanding group, and that's one of the reasons that we felt very comfortable with him. And they're all there celebrating with him tonight, and they deserve to have a celebration. They've stood behind Jameis through a lot of things, and they're a big reason why he's successful.
Jason, can you talk about, you're obviously now kind of locked in together at the hip. Can you talk about the great expectations and obviously the demands that both the franchise and the quarterback faces moving forward in terms of, you know, hitting the home run, to use another sports phrase?
Yeah, there are big expectations, and it's one of the things with Jameis that set him apart as well. He can play in some pressure now, and he plays best in the clutch. And you can see that on film. You can see that watching games. The more pressure, the better he plays. And that is probably a microcosm of him in terms of just how he's going to deal with pressure here. And he knows that he's going to be under a lot of pressure. The players are excited about it. The coaches are excited about it. This whole building, from, you know, everybody in the building has played a part in this. And we're all very excited.
You had mentioned 75. The first overall pick. You guys are kind of forever linked, forever, you know, intertwined. Did that part of the process, kind of knowing that, did that stress you out at all?
No, not at all. It's not often a general manager gets a chance to draft who he thinks is he and the coach think are a franchise quarterback. And it felt, and I'm sure it's similar for Lovey, and you'll get a chance to talk to him now too, but it was, somebody asked me if it was like Christmas, and I said, no, it's more like your wedding day. And without the cold feet. I never had cold feet on my wedding day either. So that's what it's like. You're the build up, you know it's coming, finally here, and you know, I'm trying to avoid having a Dick Vermeil moment right now, just because of all of the process that we went through. There was just a lot of work, and not just for Jameis, but for this entire draft, which I've said is could be the biggest draft in the history of this franchise, and Jameis has a lot to do with that. So we're beyond excited once again.
Jason, you talked about that process, interviewing over 75 people. Is there one person that you spoke with that really made a big impact in your decision?
I probably don't. We've said all along we're not going to get into the specifics of who we talked to and what they said, but there are quite a few. So quite a few of those. And people that came out of nowhere to give unsolicited opinions that we didn't even seek out. So that weren't necessarily real close with him, that were outsiders. So it was a fun, interesting process that leads us to today.